Layers. Now, this is a very taboo subject, okay? We've put in our 10 cents before. We know a lot of other people who have differing opinions, but I think as people who are in the market and we buy and sell a lot, and we also buy and sell secret layers occasionally, and we've made certain moral decisions on certain secret layers, and for other secret layers, we just couldn't pass it up and we bought them. So, what do we think about secret layers? Do we think they'll eventually die? I want to give my opinion because I saw something very interesting recently. I saw that secret layer that was only up for a week. It was the MHV something secret layer. I'm going to pull it up right now. We're going to see if it's on TCG Player. It was essentially a secret layer done in connection with an art studio, and I'm not able to find it specifically, but it was only up for a week, and this was a divergence from what we've seen with other secret layers. Recently, we have only seen secret layers that have been up for sometimes over a month, and at that point, there's nothing unique about it. It's essentially saying if you weren't playing the game at this point, then you're probably not going to get it for a good price. You're going to have to rebuy it off of TCG Player or Facebook. But, for an entire month, pretty much anyone can get an order in. So, what do we think is going to be happening? Okay, my personal opinion is that secret layers will not die, but secret layers will eventually become a lot less popular. So we've seen, how many was it? 47 this year? 47 or 50 this year, I think. So every week, almost, or every other week, we've seen a secret layer. What I think needs to happen is rather than have it be super random, they should just have it to where it's a guaranteed thing happening every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So every 2 weeks we'd be seeing a new secret layer, and whatever theme it's about would just pop up. I think that's the best way to make this happen and make it, something we expect. And there are going to be certain secret layers that you don't want, certain secret layers that you do want. But what we have right now is just a continuous, it's like, sometimes you'll even have up to 12 or something out at one time. Now, if you're going to look at aftermarket pricing, so interestingly enough, there are enough secret layers now to where we can get a pretty accurate representation of where pricing kind of leads to a week or 2 weeks after the release, after it's actually delivered, because it takes like 3 to 4 months or 6 months or whatever sometimes for delivery to happen. So if we go from high to low, we'll see that, the Secret Layer Ultimate Edition box has dropped considerably in price, but it's still around $260. You're essentially getting 5 fetch lands. Not worth the price at all, literally at all, because of Modern Horizons 2 coming out. You just get that very cool Secret Layer box. The funny thing, though, is the only secret layers that maintain a very strong price, were some of the secret layers that we saw in the very beginning of secret layers. So that secret layer drop OMG Kitties, that secret layer drop Year of the Rat, the secret layer drop International Women's Day 2020. So if you were to look at what we're seeing now in terms of, some of the newer secret layers, if we're even going to talk about the Dan Frazier's back secret layers, you're maybe seeing a $5 to $6 premium from what you pre-ordered them at. Same thing with the Can You Feel It with the Heart of Steel secret layers. The Unfathomable Crushing Brutality of basic lands and non-foil is around $50, and I think you bought it for $39.99. And in foil, I think you paid $49.99. So the pricing differences are not as drastic, and that's because there's just so many. In fact, certain secret layers sell for a little bit under what you would have pre-ordered them for. Now, this doesn't bode well for a product that is supposed to be limited edition, quote unquote. So when we look at stuff like Secret Versary, or if we were to look at, some of the things that they're doing now to make these more exciting, like throwing in the Ornithopter and the Swiftfoot boots, which are technically masterpieces, throwing those into the secret layers to try to spice them up, including the Viscera Seer. I haven't even talked about that. The Viscera Seer being numbered 1 to 100, being thrown in as the bonus card for just a few of the secret layers for the Phyrexian foil secret layers, I guess non-foil and foil. So they're doing things to really spice it up. And why are they doing that? It's because they want secret layer to be something that they can continuously use for little robust additions of cash. It's basically a cash injection every time it happens. But like I said, we've seen several secret layers, including the Jin Bartel secret layer or the Ornithological Studies secret layer, that sell below what they were pre-ordered for. So if you were to have bought that secret layer and kept it until now, even though it's technically limited edition, limited time, you haven't made any money. You actually lost money. So secret layer originally was going to be a product that they announce once and they say, hey, this is up for maybe 3 days. By the time you learned about it, or a week, by the time you learned about it, it was probably already gone. And that's what made it so exciting. And now it's like, okay, every other week we can expect one, which I think is okay. I think our opinion is that it is okay as long as they are not printing unique cards in them. Not unique art-wise, but I mean unique as a card. If there was instead of a Misty Rainforest, if there was a Misty Forest of Rain that they printed only in secret layers and it was objectively much better than Misty Rainforest, I would have a huge issue with that. The fact that I can't crack packs or, I can't get that without having to go through the secret layer, which was never supposed to be a product on their end that was possible for. It's supposed to just be a little fun way to throw in different editions of art, like the Marin that they released in their secret layer drop series is a beautiful card. It's full art. You can get it in really nice foil, and I think it's a great card, and it sells for like almost $50 by itself. But if Marin was never released as a regular card and then you print that in a secret layer, it's just, what are we really doing here, right? I mean, this isn't a set. So, and this might make the schedule for sets a little bit different if secret layers continue to be as popular as they are. I just wish we could look at some of the specifics. If we could look at how much they're selling of some of these secret layers, we'd have a better example of where it's headed. I know for the Phyrexia one that we just had, that must have sold, that must have been one of the best selling secret layers ever, in my opinion. I don't know if that's the case, but the reason I say that is because Elish Norn in Phyrexian foil was literally like $500. Okay, you could not get your hands on one. And when they printed that in the secret layer, it was kind of insane because you were getting it next to some really good cards. You were getting all 5 of the cards that they were going to print rather than doing it like they did the Shock Lands where they piece it out. If they had pieced it out, I probably wouldn't have bought it. But the fact that they put all 5 in foil in Phyrexian in one secret layer was a game changer. Now, if we look at the price of that, we can actually pull up the price of the secret layer drop Phyrexian Praetors complete edition foil. Now you can get the non-foil, but we're looking at the foil, and the price of this has actually started to go up again. It dipped really hard when it first released, as expected. It's about $87 now for the foil, okay? Now, if you were to pre-order this back when it had first launched, it was only $49.99 for the foil. So there is actually some really good profit here, right? And people are buying these. If you look at the latest sales on TCG Player, these are not just sitting there and not being bought. People are actively buying these, and that means the price will go up. There's only 39 listings, okay? It takes one person with money to buy these listings out, and then you're not able to find it. I think if we go on the third page, yeah, they're $99 each. So it takes one person to buy these out, and suddenly, the Phyrexian Praetors Complete Edition foil will be super expensive. It's a great secret layer. That is the secret layer that if I see them doing a secret layer every 3 weeks and it's on par with the Phyrexian Praetors foil edition secret layer that we had, where you could even get a 1 out of 100 Viscera Seer, which currently sells for like $5,000, that's just a completely different game. That's a completely different game, okay? But if we were to go onto secret layer and we go on the website right now, what we see is the Arcane League of Legends secret layer. This is the most pathetic thing. I'm sorry. If you're trying to sell me 5 basic lands for $30, it's laughable. It's the art isn't that nice. It's not extended art. There's nothing about it that screams to me this is a premium product. This should be a limited time product or anything. Like, And the fact that they have the audacity, in my opinion, to do the bundled bundle, where you pay $549, $549 to get how many different secret layers? You get the foil and non-foil. So it's a total of 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You get like 18 different secret layers for $550. So that's obviously going to be for someone who wants to resell these. But like I said, half of these are not going to sell for a premium. Okay. I mean, most of them shouldn't. Welcome to Castle Dracula. You know, these I think look stupid. Now, the Dracula Lands, the foil edition, I think might be a good pickup. It's extended art. There's going to be someone building vampire decks that wants these kind of lands. That makes sense. But I mean, most of these, they look cool, right? Don't get me wrong, they look cool, but most of the cards in these are filler, all right? If you put, what they do is they put a Rhystic Study in a different version of art, and then they throw in 3 or 4 other filler cards. So will Secret Layers eventually die if they continue to do it this way? I think so. I think at some point, most people will not pay attention to them anymore, right? At some point, people aren't just going to jump onto the website and say, you know, I'm willing to shell out $550 for 18 different secret layers, that you're not using most of these cards, okay? What I found kind of interesting, though, was the 100 card commander deck that is pimped out. I mean, it's all extended art, if I'm right. Half of it, not half of it, but I think there's like 20 different foils. There's like 4 different unique cards in there. So, you know, looking at that, I find it to be pretty interesting, because that's one of those products where if you don't play Commander, you could just buy that Commander deck and you can literally go to your LGS and start playing EDH right then and there. That's pretty cool in my opinion. So I do think eventually Secret Layers as they are now will die. I don't think this is sustainable. In fact, I'd even go further than that. I'd say the amount of pollution created by all of this, and I hate to be that kind of guy. I'm not going to come, you know, we also send stuff out, but there's a reason why we, you know, just use a bubble mailer and we throw in the product. We're not throwing in tons of different plastic and tons of, there's a reason behind that, okay? Magic is already an incredibly wasteful game. They used to give you, when you bought a secret layer, they used to give you this big black plastic thing for a premium feel. Then inside of it was more plastic, and then inside of it was more plastic, and there's glue. And if you were to buy that huge super bundle, and let's say you buy 10 of them, right, because you're speculating maybe, how much waste are you creating for something that's just carrying super small pieces of cardboard? You know, what they did with the Phyrexian secret layer is that they threw it into a smaller box. And in my opinion, that was good. It creates less waste. But, you know, let's be mindful of that, okay? So I hope at some point, I really do hope that a big content creator, that a big entity calls out Wizards and says, hey, what you're doing with all this waste is not good, okay? So I think there's a lot of stuff at play. I think people should be paying attention to the pollution created by these products. So I'm going to just make sure that the Facebook, because we are live streaming this as we make this video. These days I've started to do this where I'll knock a video out and we'll do it as a live stream. But, you know, the reason I'm making this video is more so that I do think that this is Hasbro and Wizards saying, you know, this is going to be how we grow revenue. By throwing out all of the special editions of cards that maybe don't fit into the newer sets. Cards that, you know, you didn't think you'd see reprint for a while, like Rhystic Study. They put a different name on it and they threw it into the Arcane bundle. So it's going to keep happening, but how it's going to happen is becoming more important to me than if it continues to happen. Secret Layers need to be, in my opinion, on a set schedule at this point. If you're going to release one every week almost, just put them on a set schedule, okay? I hate the fact that they're throwing, you know, a dozen on all the players at a single time. You know, what is the purpose behind this? If you're going to create, you know, cool lands, or like Dracula lands, and you want people to buy them, you want people to enjoy them, they're supposed to be unique. Put them up for a week, give everyone the chance to buy them, And then the next week, put up those basic lands, those foil basic lands in the whatever League of Legends arcane theme that they're supposed to be in. Then the next week, put up the commander deck. So even it out, just make it a weekly schedule, because that's what it is, right? If we count how many have been printed, how many have been released in a year, it's almost every other week at this point. And eventually it's probably going to be an every week release if you just count the quantity, right? Rather than doing that, though, they just throw it on us at one time and they try to get us to buy a $600 bundle of bundles. Like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Seriously. If you're buying the bundled bundle, which is a $550 product, I really have a hard time understanding why that seems to be a good purchase for you. For that price, you could get a Double Masters booster box, which currently the box topper for that box is worth $175 sealed. So you're guaranteed $175 back just from the box topper. And it has one of the highest EV openings currently of any set. So Double Masters, even compared to all of that unique extended art that whatever they're throwing at, actually, it's not even extended art. Half the stuff you're getting is basic lands, okay? Normal basic lands. So it doesn't seem worth it at all. And then remember that there's only like one great card in all of these secret layers. So most of the other cards you're getting are 20-cent to 30-cent filler cards. That's what they are. So my hope is that eventually we see secret layers become a more unique product. I hope that they start to implement, flash sales where it's a one-day thing and you don't hear about it. You have to be visiting the secret layer website to see it. This is what they used to do. This is the whole point of it back in the day, right? But I know that's not going to happen. I know that Wizards at this point cannot, I think they literally have restrictions in terms of how much they can print printer-wise. Whereas with secret layers, they're able to pre-order, or they're able to pre-sale the product. So they can pre-sale all of this for you, and then they start printing it later on when the printers open up, right? So they just don't have the logistics to be doing everything. I think if they had the logistics, we would see way more sets. We'd be seeing way more specialty product. We'd be seeing more anthologies. No one has said this, but in my opinion, I think this is the opinion of everyone at Mystery MTG, is that the reason we haven't seen a new Commander anthology, or the reason we haven't seen some of those like Commander Arsenal products, those kind of really cool specialty products that pop out here and there, is because secret layers are kind of taking the place of that. I mean, we can literally see 100 card Commander product now, right? So it's a different thing. But do I hope they eventually die? Part of me says yes. Part of me would rather have a good attempt at a product like a Commander's Anthology 3 that they have to think about, they have to actually pick really good decks for, rather than them knowing they're able to throw out dozens and dozens of these secret layers, and one or two are going to be smashing successes. The rest of them can do whatever, because it's all pre-sale for them. There is no issue. These aren't even printed right now. If they don't sell well for one of them, it's not like the product had to be worked on. You know what I mean? The art was designed, the promotional images have been made, and I guess they do a little bit of testing here and there, and then that's about it. And then we pre-order it, they get all the money for it, and then they start printing it. So it's very little risk for them. Whereas for Commander anthologies, there's an entire process behind that. I think, as far as I know, you can't just pre-order that, right? I mean, you can pre-order from your LGS, but they don't get pre-sale information before they actually start printing and sending stuff out, and LGSs know when it's actually going to come. So secret layers for almost every aspect is better for WOTC. I just don't think it's a good business model. I think eventually people will get very tired of it. I don't think it's going to per se die, but I do think it has to change, and I hope that it changes and it reverts back to what it used to be with those little tiny time frames where you could actually buy them. That art secret layer that I bought, that we only had a week for, it wasn't a month, it was a week. I thought that was really interesting, and I like the fact that it was such a short timed window to get it, because I know now, and I can guarantee that product will have a higher resale price on the secondary market. It's just there wasn't that many of them, and not that many people pre-ordered them. They didn't even market it. I think maybe a couple of YouTubers made pre-order videos of them, but not everyone was very excited about it. However, it did come with a Grim Tutor, a Blood Moon, and these really cool metallic finishes for the art. So Secret Lairs can be done right. They can be done right. It just, they have not been done right. I'm sitting here looking at the Secret Versary Super Drop 2021, the bundle, and I am so disgusted by it in every way. It just seems like such a huge waste of money. And unfortunately, there are going to be parents out there, there's going to be young people who have a little bit of cash saved up that might actually buy this. They might actually be spending, you know, $40 for basic lands, for foil basic lands that the art on them is nothing special. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm looking at them right now. These to me seem like they should be free cards. These should be the free bonus cards that you get in a secret lair, not a secret lair you actually buy. The art looks cool on them, by the way. I'm not saying it's all just images from Arcane, the League of Legends TV show. But, you know, oh God, I just can't. $40 for basic lands. That's what they're trying to do now. So no thank you on my end. I hope you're also saying no thank you. Go out and get a double Masters booster box for the same price as the bundle. And every time they try to do that, please do not buy that big dump of product. Not only are you hurting the environment with the amount of plastic they're going to be sending you, 90% of the cards you get are going to be filler. They are going to be cards that you could have got for 20 cents or 25 cents in a different version of art. The only cards that you really enjoy getting from most of these, now there are exceptions like the Phyrexian Secret Lair, from most of these will be a single card, like, which one is it in this one? Rhystic Study, and that different, it's not even called Rhystic Study, it's a different name. The Arcane version of it, I would say, but it's a Rhystic Study. So you're paying all that money to get one copy of Rhystic Study in a different art, guaranteed foil because you can buy the foil. Why not just go get a normal Rhystic Study made from Teresa Nielsen, who did really great art, irregardless of the political stuff that happened with her. Her art for Rhystic Study was really nice. Just go get that version rather than pay. You know, they want you to buy that big bundle. They want you to spend, there's the non-foil second Secret Versary bundle for 200. There's another for 300. There's another for 500. And then there's one for almost 600. The fact that these are even options, you know, it just blows my mind. So hopefully the way it's happening right now does die. And I will be an advocate for that. I am going to still be buying Secret Lairs. Whenever a Secret Lair comes out, like the foil Phyrexian Secret Lairs, you can't avoid them, okay? If those cards were in a set, they would be the chase cards. Okay, so the fact that they were all together in a Secret Lair, you're kind of forced to buy them, which sucks, but that's the case. So that's my opinion, all right? I know it's jumbled, it's rambly, but that's kind of what this entire thing is. The entire Secret Lair, everything about it, the concept is constantly changing, and it's jumbled, and it's very hard to follow, right? So I think this video goes perfect with it. Like I said, from my viewpoint, if they were to make this a set schedule of we will release one Secret Lair every week for a year, and you can pre-order them if you want, you can not pre-order them if you don't want, I would be perfectly fine with it. I would be perfectly fine with it. I would have no issue with that. I'd say it's a new product. They're being very transparent about it at this point. If it's released only, if it's one per week, right? I could just, any given week, say, I'm going to look at Secret Lair, see what it is for this week. If it's not interesting, I'm not going to buy it. That to me seems very stable, seems very normal. They can still make their money from it. A lot of people will stop being interested because Secret Lairs are going to just be there at all times, pretty much. And that's what it should be, okay? If you're going to throw 15 or 18 Secret Lairs at one time to people, or a dozen or whatever, and you're trying to get us to spend $550, I mean, you're just looking for a cash injection. We get it. You're trying to bump up those revenue numbers before you have to release the quarterly earnings for Hasbro. But what a shameful way to start doing pixel snowlands, and to start, you know, some of these reprints are really cool. Some of these reprints should be in normal sets. They should be in normal sets. Why aren't we seeing pixel, art in normal sets. That would be a really cool thing if it was like a rare thing. Maybe one pixel snowland randomly put into set boosters. I would be more interested and hyped about set boosters. Now, I know they're doing that for the non-MTG IP stuff that's coming out. They will be in set boosters, but all of that is such a headache. All of that, some guy on Twitter that works for WOTC made some really stupid tweet where he's like, something is A and something is B, in response to people saying that things have gotten too complicated. Everything has gotten too complicated. It's tiring, all right? As someone who loves opening Magic product, as someone who's been a big pack opener forever, as someone who's enjoyed Magic the Gathering specifically for a very long time, I am tired of having to say, do I want the collector? Do I want the draft booster? Do I want the secret layer? Do I want the set booster? I mean, the collection green's coming out, and then this is coming out. Oh, also they're releasing it's like, how about we go back to just draft boosters, and I would be okay with set boosters, right? Throw in secret layers at a certain time. Collector packs and boxes have been going down incredibly in value, with the exception of Modern Horizons 2. You can literally get Crimson Vow collector boxes on Amazon for $160 right now. That is less than distributor cost for a lot of people. You can get it for less than distributor cost. That's a big deal. That is representing something. That is people saying, okay, this is not selling and we have a ton of it. So collector boosters, I think, are going to eventually die, and I hope they do die. And I'm a very proud advocate of saying collector boosters need to die. I think secret layers need to die, or they need to change. I'm still a fan of draft boosters. I think draft is a big way that people play the game, and that's what it needs to be. They're even changing the unset to be black bordered. That's for a very obvious reason. Rather than just making it a draft-only product, they want people to actually be able to play the singles in eternal formats. But that's stupid because it's an unset. It's supposed to be crazy. It's supposed to be mechanic, testing for certain mechanics and stuff. It's not everything that made sense and was a certain way is being changed to no longer make sense, and it is no longer that way. Where are we going with this? They're squeezing out as much money as they can. They're printing out all these different forms of art, and it just seems like product dump to me. We're just getting a bunch of product dumped on us. I hope for the next quarter they start taking things a little bit slower and they just take their time with it. It doesn't need to be as complicated as it is now, and I think that'll help out with a lot of people actually not buying product anymore. You'd be surprised. I think a lot of people now just do not want to buy product. And this is a shameless plug, but the good thing about Mystery MTG is that we will do the curation for you, and we'll say they don't want to see any of this new product. So our premium packs do not have most of this new product. We might add Modern Horizons 2 draft packs, for example, which are a master set. We might add, Time Spiral Remastered, which has Chalice of the Void and really cool foil retro frames that are worth a ton of money. That's stuff that we can add and curate on our own, right? But if you're the kind of person who has been buying and pre-ordering every single product WotC has released, you've either gone bankrupt or you're insane, because that is a dumb thing to do right now. You will be losing money on most of it. If you buy a collector box for $200, you've already lost $40 on the Crimson Vow collector box, okay? So, and as some of you are buying from your LGSs who are selling them for $250. If you're spending that much money, all I can say is you've not been making the right choice so far. Okay, that's my opinion. Alan for Mystery MTG. Will Secret Layers eventually die? I hope so. I don't think they will. I think that they need to change the schedule. They're going to change something about it. It's just not sustainable. So that's my opinion. Please let me know in the comments what you think is going to be happening. I'm actually very curious. I'm genuinely very curious to see what you guys think is going to happen. So let me know. Alan from mysterymtg.com. Check out our Christmas crate if you haven't. It's probably not going to get there in time for Christmas for you, but you can still get one. So I will